So, someone asked me if Noshiko could ever regain the tails that she expended tracking and trying to take down the Nogitsune in Beacon Hills back in 2011. As you know, if you watched, Kitsune grow in power the longer they live. This manifests usually as tails attached to the fiery thought spirit inside. But in order to use that power for a specific task, the Kitsune will place that tail energy into physical objects.
Do you know what it is?
Tail.
You're first.
In Noshiko's case, she collected hers into a set of knives or daggers. She had a lot of them because she was like 900 years old. But she expended a lot summoning and giving the Oni physical form on our plane. As for regrowing her tails, I personally think she cannot, and I believe that for one very simple reason. Her husband acted like she was murdering someone every time she broke one of the knives.
You've already sacrificed 5. 3 of the Oni are gone. How many more tails are you willing to sacrifice?
That face right there. For those without a handy-dandy facial affect chart, that is a look of extreme discomfort and regret.
How many more tails are you willing to sacrifice?
He's telling us this is a big freaking deal, and his wife is giving up something rare, precious, and irreplaceable. All that suggests that once a tail is gone, it is gone. She might, in another 900 years, be able to replace a few, but she even says that she was severely debilitated after the Nogitsune fight.
Oh, you still Kitsune? Technically. What?
It's your mother.
My mom's being taken to a hospital in Palo Alto.
She's gonna be okay.
Yeah, she just doesn't heal like she used to.
If Noshiko is only technically still a Kitsune, I think it's safe to assume she severely weakened herself every time she broke one of those tails. The Alpha Spark shot out a little werewolf spark through bite and scratch in an attempt to make a new werewolf. But their twisted souls overwhelmed the little spark and made them into those other things. So Douglas went from being a lion man to being an alpha werewolf with some lion features left over. Are WERECOYOTES just malformed werewolves? I know there is a faction of y'all who are sick to death of the whole malformed thing. That's cool, to each his own, but I will say my whole theory stems from the fact that the bestiary and Derek explained that the kanima is just a malformed werewolf.
It's called a kanima.
You knew the whole time?
No, only when it was confused by its own reflection.
It doesn't know what it is.
Or who?
But it's like us?
A shapeshifter, yes, but it's not right.
And from that, we can at least make the tiny leap that if a bite goes wrong, what you're looking at is a werewolf with a different shape. And if they're different enough, they just call them something else. So then we come to WERECOYOTES. There is an argument in favor and against malformation. I will say if they are a malformation, it happened a really long time ago, and often enough to become its own recognized thing.
What you do have is power, strength, speed, and the capacity to heal. You know where you got it from, Leah? You know where you stole it from? Me.
The power theft at birth thing is an argument in favor of malformation because it always seems to come with some sort of defect. But the fact that they can reproduce naturally at all is an argument against them being malformed.
What are you? Coyote. My whole family is.
I also know from Jeff that werecoyotes can have alphas and packs, but canonically, we don't know how that works. Bottom line, they're similar enough to werewolves to say, yeah, that's a werewolf spark that just got twisted. But they're enough of an individual species that you really have to wonder. I got a question that kind of pissed me off immediately. It wasn't the topic of the question, it was the type of question that put the rise to my hackles. The questioner wanted to know if this line from Kate in season 1 hinted at the creators of the series' original plans for Teen Wolf Werewolf design.
There's actually 3 of them. Another younger one like him called the beta, and then there's the alpha. Bigger, stronger, nastier. Those are the real ugly ones.
So yeah, Kate's use of the word those when describing alphas could suggest they might all look like Crazy Peter. But we've learned that's not true, and we learned that almost immediately. In season 1 alone, alphas look like this, or like this, and sometimes in extreme circumstances, they can look like this. They're shapeshifters. Depending on their state of mind, there is a wide range of appearances, and it remained that way from season 1 right through the end of the show. As for her bigger, stronger, nastier, I've been over this before too. In this universe, the vast majority of alphas have to kill for the status, unless they get a lucky break with an incapacitated alpha that they can just yoink. Looking at you, Derek.
I'm the alpha now.
But most alphas would need to be physically bigger and stronger, and they would definitely need to be nastier if they're willing to kill for power. Not to mention the fact that Kate arrives at this moment having grown up on Gerard's stories of monsters.
Any pity I'd have for Derek and his pack would be burned out by a white-hot desire for retribution. Blood and destruction that would have Derek and his wolves howling not for mercy, but for their own sweet deaths.
There's actually 3 of them. Another younger one like him called the beta, and then there's the alpha. Bigger, stronger, nastier. Those are the real ugly ones.
She is literally running down ethnic stereotypes. This is what you would expect from someone like her. It is her reality, which is a skewed version of the show's universe. But all that aside, the reason the question really made me cringe is because there is a vocal faction of my viewers who lament some version of the show that they never saw. They'll take snippets of dialogue like this and read them like tea leaves, imagining that we were all denied some brutal and bloody werewolf show with 8-foot-tall lichens fighting bears and random flying kanima terrorizing the Beacon Hills Mall. The real show is what it is. Trying to tie your wishcraft into some unrealized desire or imaginary original master plan of the makers is kind of dumb. They made the show they made because that's what they wanted to make.